Thank you for coming to our iCorrect channel, and this is a repair today of an iPhone 12 which suddenly went dead on our client. If you have an iPhone 12 that is showing no signs of life or has suddenly gone dead and you've tried the normal techniques of pressing the power button, plugging it into charge, and you still have no success, then this is the type of repair that we would complete on an iPhone 12. This isn't a repair that would be completed at an Apple store. The Apple store only advised to have a device replaced, but we specialize in logic board and microelectronics repairs. We believe it's better to repair your iPhone rather than replace your iPhone. And with this iPhone 12, we initially plugged it into our ammeter, which was the previous shot, and that shows us how much power is going through the charging port. Because there was a tiny amount of trickle charging, it showed that the iPhone was accepting power, which meant that it wasn't a battery fault or a charging port fault, but then it was down for us to disassemble the iPhone and inspect the logic board. The logic board is like the brain of the iPhone, and that's where all of the processing happens. We plugged the logic board into a direct current machine, which is also known as a life support machine, and that showed us that there was a logic board fault. The number at the top is 4.2 volts, and that should stay constant on a perfectly working logic board. But on this one, the numbers actually dropped, and it showed us that something inside the logic board, some micro component, is consuming power. This is the iPhone's logic board. And on this iPhone 12, the logic board design is a sandwich layer, which means it has two layers to the logic board. That is a beautiful design, but can make it more complicated to repair. And to split the two layers of the logic board, we put the logic board onto a preheater and then disconnect the top layer from the bottom layer. One of the most common logic board repairs that we complete on a daily basis is just restoring the communication between the top and the bottom layer of the boards. A break in the communication can cause many different types of faults. We took the top layer of the logic board and injected power using our direct current machine. We were then inspecting under a thermal camera for any pinpointed parts of the logic board which were showing heat. Any micro component that's consuming power will disperse heat, and that'll be visible under the thermal camera. We dust off the iPhone's logic board with rosin, and that's a product from tree sap to help us locate the fault. Inject power again using the direct current machine and find this tiny, small, single capacitor that's consuming power. That consumption of power is what is producing the heat and is stopping the iPhone from turning on. With that tiny capacitor removed and replaced, we can then go through, connect a screen, and then boot the iPhone to make sure that it powers on. The cool thing about the iPhone 12 logic board is that the top layer will boot without the bottom layer. With the root cause of the issue found, the small capacitor replaced, and then confirmation that we were able to have the iPhone boot, we were then able to put the two parts of the logic board back together. We do this by putting the bottom layer onto a preheater and then attaching the top layer of the board. With both sides of the logic board attached back together, we can then go through and reassemble the iPhone. After reassembling, we can go through and correctly test and confirm perfect functionality. This was an example repair that we would complete to an iPhone which is showing no signs of life. The example today was an iPhone 12, and this is how we complete our diagnostics. Now, we make it look easy in the video, but sometimes these can take hours to diagnose. If you have an iPhone that has a similar fault and you'd like us to help and assist with repair, then please get in touch via our website. Please do be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you in the next repair. Thank you.